Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the week ahead report. Let's just get that organised. Yeah, the week ahead report. The current time is 7:45, and obviously just so we can get our minds set for the week ahead. And let's run through some of the closes that we had in America on Friday night. All in all, quite an eventful night. Let's just grab them up there. We did manage to etch out a small gain, up 22 points. The S&P was up 3. Nasdaq was up 3.7, and obviously consumer business spending probably climbed in the US, which was good. And also China basically came out with some models on how she proposed to fight the inflation, so that probably will continue to be a focus on how China actually does resolve that inflationary problems. Also, over the weekend we had concerns in Ireland, and Ireland has come out and said they need assistance. They've told us that it's not a bailout, it's just assistance that we've required. Whichever way you look at it, it's certainly a concern. The risk we have is that might escalate towards other weaker European members, and as a result of that, we hopefully won't see, but there is that potential there that we could see some negativeness start to fall out as a result of what's happening there. But let's see how that unfolds. Generally speaking, before we run through a few things, let's just have a look at a few of the normal bits and pieces before we go into the data. And I guess the most important stuff is obviously the dollar index, what's happening there. Probably we'll find that the market will go towards dollars, and I think this little correction here we've seen probably suggests that the market will hold. If it stays above 78.20 and or break 78.80, then we can see a resumption of a trend. In my mind, this little trend here we've seen, as long as we hold up here, onwards and upwards, 78.80. On the dollar index, if it breaks that there, then I probably expect US dollars to start to firm. Let's see what unfolds. Just have a look at some of the others. Crude oil, obviously down, a little bit of support. We fixed that could be the case. A little bit of a bounce there, but moving sideways. We really have to see exactly what happens out of Ireland, and also what's happening in China in terms of those inflationary. There seem to be the key points. Copper, tracking sideways, but looking a little bit firm. Dips can be looked at on that one. Little Aussie battler, 98.79, holding up quite nicely. If it takes out these highs here at 99.20, different story. If it does do that, then I'd just be a little bit concerned, because if you were short, because the chances are it'll go back through to the top side. Having a look at gold, 13.50 at the moment. Bounced quite nicely, and I think that we've got a little bit of a double bottom here. So whilst we have that little low in place there, then I think you can quite comfortably look at it. Silver 27.21, that looks okay. Just looking at the euro, there it is there, and you can see that the euro's, well, let's have a little bit of a bounce there, so let's see what unfolds. But probably looking for that, the market is looking for that dollar to continue to weaken. The key will be what happens in Europe, so that's something which I've really got to focus on. In the local market, 46.55, we did get a low there of 46.26, and if anything there, I think a lot of us are starting to think that, yeah, that we have got an intermediate low in place. Be guided by that 46.25 level, that old low. If it tends to break through that level, then the chances are she does trade lower. But I guess a lot of that will hinge on what happens this week. So let's move on. That's all the other little bits and pieces. Now let's go in to see exactly what we've got coming up in terms of economic numbers. See whether or not it'll do a little bit of moving and shaking. Or basically help to confirm that the US is certainly moving out of that slowdown. Okay, Monday. Today we've got Eurozone consumer confidence. That should be quite interesting, but probably won't get too much out of that. But obviously, if it's positive data, then the momentum will be quite. That's what we need, is just continued positive momentum. A whole lot of data out of Germany, and a little bit out of importance. Construction spending, government spending, capital, all pretty good. Give us an overview of view. PMI as well, PMI across the board in Eurozone. Yeah, that will give us a good idea. We want to see a little bit of a pickup here. There are some indications that it's actually coming under pressure. If that is the case, then we might get a bit of a negative scope out of Europe later this afternoon. In the States, we've got GDP, personal consumption, existing home sales, which I think will be obviously something we want. We want to see what happens there. We want to see momentum continuing to continue to be strong. In the States, we've got the Fed releases the minutes, and we've also got ABC consumer confidence. So that's good. Wednesday in Australia, we've got construction work done. Let's see, that's, well, the data hasn't all been that crash hot in Australia, but let's see. GDP in the UK, imports, exports, all that. Industrial new orders in the Eurozone. This is the big billing for the week. Wednesday, we've got durable goods in America, and we've got personal income and new home sales. So all these ones here, very important there, but I think Wednesday again will be the key as to the direction that we'll take in terms of some of our trading. Okay, Thursday, not too much there, but we do have a lot of data in Tokyo, in Japan, and there's that CPI year-on-year for Tokyo, and also the national numbers as well. As you can see, it's still all quite low, still within that deflationary problem, which they're trying to actually edge out of. But if that's the case, well then, let's see how the yen actually trades. But pretty important there to see little signs of life, seeing that starting to tick over. Friday night, not too much. In fact, none out in the States. Obviously, everything quite quiet. Remember, I think from memory, we do have a public holiday coming up. In America, and I'll just have to confirm that a little bit. Yeah, but anyway, that's coming up soon. So that's pretty much about it. In terms of themes that we've been following, obviously we've been long that US dollar for a little while. We've got some lows, I think, in some of the metals, and I think if anything, I just really want to see what happens out of Ireland, see how the market takes what's occurring there, and I also want to see more signs out of China in terms of the way she's going to measure and control those food inflation, because to me that's a significant concern that we're going to have to focus on. But that's really about it from me. That's the war report, the week ahead report. If anyone has any questions, feel free to get in contact with us, and we'll do our best to answer them. Bye for now.